AI art is getting out of hand, and let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Feliciel, and I'm a freelance tattoo artist and illustrator doing this job for the past 3 years. Let's start off with a quote. I strongly feel like this is an insult to life itself. This was said by Hayao Miyazaki about AI animation. If you live under a rock and don't know who that is, Hayao Miyazaki is the one behind My Neighbor Totoro, Chihiro, Princess Mononoke, and a lot of other things from Studio Ghibli. He has really big influences because he's made so many great movies that people really felt connected to, and notably for the amazing art in them. So that was just to set the tone. Now I'll define what is AI art. AI art is made from a machine learning based program trained on a large database, but very often the database is not shared publicly as many artists didn't consent to having their artwork used that way. So essentially, AI art is using a buttload of stolen art and will make a mashup of massive amounts of stolen art. We've seen people making algorithms using one artist only just to rip off their art style and essentially get their artwork for free. But can you even imagine the consequences of this? That person will be losing commissions, client work that could be for commercial use. You're basically depriving them of their job. We've also seen more and more conventions using AI art for their promotional content. Very often, those posts end up being taken down, but they were still there in the first place. Conventions already have dozens, if not hundreds, of artists that would love to draw the content for their social media or for the flyers of said convention. And conventions already make money off of artists as you need to pay a tabling fee when you go to conventions and sell your art. So why not use those fees to be able to pay an artist to do that content? Conventions aren't something new. They've been around for years and years. And visibly in the past, they did have money to pay people to do the artwork. Very often, that artwork was done by somebody tabling at that convention. And it's really disheartening to see an event that's supposed to promote artists and motivate people to come to those conventions to buy our products using stolen art. But I guess in some way it's not that new, since there's been drop shippers selling stolen artwork. But I feel like this is a step even further. Recently, you might have seen that Wacom has used AI art. You know, Wacom, the company that sells drawing tablets to artists, the drawing tablets that are literally the industry standard. So they have artists as their clientele, and yet they're using AI art to make their promotional content. Now, since that whole debacle, they've made an apology, but that's PR, and it doesn't change the fact that it did happen. Now, is it that companies are completely out of touch and unaware of people's feelings, or is it that they just care about their financials and not wanting to spend money on an artist to make said content for them? Now, earlier I talked about the fact that there is a large database that is used to feed the algorithm. But the question of where are they getting those images from, a very important one. We are now having printing companies like Pixart Printing offering AI generators for their clients, but again not being transparent with that database. So let's say I'm getting my artwork printed through them. Does that mean that my artwork will be used for the AI generator? Because how surprising is it when I say I don't want that? Is there any way to make sure they're not using my images? All those things are important questions to have. When people asked Midjourney if there was a way to not have their artwork used for that database, and if there was a way to opt out, they said that it was too complicated, that there's no list or anything, so there's no way of really being sure to opt out, and it would simply be too hard for them to do. First of all, boo-hoo, that's your job, finding solutions to problems like that. But secondly, it turns out it was all a lie. In December 2023, a list of names of artists that were used to feed the algorithm was leaked. So I guess there was a way to actually take off a name, they just didn't want to. And that just really shows that there was an intent to not show all the artwork that's being stolen. Adobe unveils future of Creative Cloud with generative AI as a creative co-pilot in Photoshop. So in February 2024, Adobe is stopping the Creative Cloud syncing, essentially to replace it with some AI stuff. Do I have to remind people that once again Adobe is the industry standard, that this is a tool that everybody uses in this field, and yet they're working on making more AI content and taking down a tool that is actively used by artists to fund it? I can't even fathom the idea that they're actively removing access to tools for us for working on things that will essentially take our jobs. So now you're gonna tell me, well, if the point is to call out companies that use AI art, how can you tell when they actively do it? We're seeing very often companies, but also random people using AI art, not disclosing that it is AI art and claiming it as their own made artwork. So I'm just gonna very quickly skim over little things to keep an eye out for, but there is a video you should watch that is going much more in detail into this by Busy Bean that really goes in depth into recognizing AI art. But essentially, you really need to look closely at an artwork, see the details, and to try to make sense of it all. Because very often what is done very poorly by those algorithms is details and logical things. So whether it's hands having more or less than 5 fingers, elements disappearing or merging into something that has nothing to do, details not being in the right places, all those little things. You might not see it directly if you skim over an image, but if you really stop yourself and look closely at the image, trust me, you'll see it. And even if an artist is bad, they will not be drawing 7 fingers. It's just common sense that we have as humans that the algorithms don't. So I guess the thing to take out of this little video is to support artists, whether it's financially by getting products, asking for commissions, all those things, but also for free there's way to help artists by engaging with their content. Calling out companies is also very important. Sometimes they take down those posts and hopefully in the future they won't do it again, but in any case we should not be letting them off the leash for this, and to stay updated with what's happening with AI art. Hopefully it will be getting regulated, but frankly I don't have any hopes of that happening anytime soon. But yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like. You can also subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!